Welcome back, Dragon Ball fans, to another very underwhelming episode, the series where we try to showcase the more underplayed cards of Dragon Ball Super card game and make it just a little bit more playable. In today's episode, we will be showcasing our baby leader, who has an auto for when this card attacks the leader card, draw one card, he awakens at 4 life, and you get to untap 2 energy. On his backside, he has, when this card attacks, draw one card and choose one of your battle cards and one of your opponents, and they both lose 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. I believe the way that this is worded, that you have to have both targets on the field in order to activate this auto. But don't be misled. You will always draw a card, regardless if you can subtract 10,000 in power or not. Okay, the draw card part is mandatory. Moving on, we play a lot of one drops, mainly because this is kind of an aggro deck, but of course it doesn't have to be. It depends on the matchup, right? Um, so moving into the deck list, we play 3 Saiyan Kaba, and we also play 4 Intensifying Power Trunks. Now the reason we only play 3 Saiyan Kaba is because we want to see him a little bit later in the game, maybe like turns 3 and on, right? Intensifying Power Trunks is somebody we'd like to open with. We want him in our opening hand. Um, Mainly because he puts on a lot of pressure. 15k crit is no joke in the beginning. Most of the time your opponent's going to take it unless they have unless they didn't play anything on their previous turn. Um, Furthermore, Intensifying Power Trunks enables probably the best combo in the game, which is Chain Attack Trunks into Zeno, the Plain God. So, since we have Intensifying Power Trunks, Chain Attack into Zeno is possible on turn 2 and on, right? Just because Chain Attack can evolve for 2 red. So this is really important because right now the meta is a ton of flute aggro, right? Whether it be blue-red or blue-yellow or something, it's flute shenanigans for days. So we want to punish our opponent for making super greedy plays and trying to awaken very early, right? Because a lot of these flute aggro decks, they take their life and they try to awaken on the first or second turn. And when that happens, we play Chain Attack Trunks, reset the board, and all of a sudden, our hand size is equal, and they're sitting at half life or less, and we are still readily healthy. Only because in this deck, right, if you're playing against flute aggro stuff, you want to play defensively, right? On your first couple of turns, you're just going to charge pass. You don't play anything, right? Use that extra energy to defend your life. And because we have access to quite arguably the best card in the game right now, Revenge Deathball. This card is the only reason to play Baby. This is also the only reason Baby can win games, realistically, is Revenge Deathball, right? If you're not familiar with this card, it is Activate Battle, and if your leader card is a red baby, not sus, you can give him plus 10,000 power for the duration of the battle, and then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it loses 15,000 power for the duration of the turn. Now, because this is a activate battle effect, a lot of people don't know that when you combo, you don't add your combo power until the end, after both people have comboed. So let's say your opponent attacks, right? Your opponent's attacking you with Saiyan Kaba or something with 15k, and say you're at 1 life, 2 life, and they're trying to go for lethal, they're trying to go for game, and they drop their entire hand, right, to try to kill you. Well, if their attack is their attack power is base is 15k or less, then you can just play one Revenge Death Ball and kill them. And because combo power isn't added until the end, uh, and Revenge Death Ball is an extra card, you're not actually comboing when you play this card. During your defensive step, you are activating the card's skill. So the pluses and minuses gets added immediately, whereas your opponent's combo, unless they Senzu Bean or something, does not get added, right? So even if they combo up to like 90k, 100k, their base is still 15. So when you subtract 15 from them, they're going to go to 0, and they're going to die, and all their combo cards are just going to go into the drop. Which puts you at a huge advantage. Furthermore, you know, if you have multiple Revenge Death Balls, then that's when it starts getting a little crazy, right? Because the effect can stack. So if they're attacking you with something bigger than 15k, say like a 20k, 25, 30, you only need 2 Death Balls and you can kill that one, right? As long as it doesn't have Berry, then you'll be fine. Funny story, in tournament I played against a Universe 7 Frieza deck, right? And he was playing Victory Strike. He got it out on like his turn 4, and on my turn 3, I didn't really have anything to play. I just charged an energy and passed, right? I had 3 open energy, but I had 3 Revenge Death Balls in my hand. So when he dropped his Victory Strike, he attacked, comboed up to 90,000, and I'm still at 8 life, right? I haven't done anything. He attacks me for 90k, and I defend myself with 3 Death Balls, bringing me up to 40, and he goes down to 45. So from there, I just had to use another 2 5ks, and I defended his attack. And by then, he had 2 cards left in hand going into my turn, so 2 and 2 life. So I attacked and I killed him. It was kind of awesome. In another situation, I also used 3 Death Balls to kill a Ultra Instinct Goku, and you know, Ultra Instinct says you can't combo, but this is not a combo, so it goes through, right? So these kind of plays are the things that people don't expect, or sometimes they forget about it. You know, it's very similar to the Kid Goku Shugesh combo, but this is done with 1 card and it's red. So because people forget that Baby has this card, or the interactions or the way that combo works, that sometimes the weaker players won't really remember this. The good players, hopefully they remember. But so moving on, back into the deck list. We play our 4 super combos are Handy Guru or Giru. Just for flavor, you can play the other one if you want, but no one really likes Vados, so we play Giru. We also play 1 Baby Subdual. This is just kind of like a gimmick card. You could probably switch this out for something else if you wanted, but it does come in handy. You know, you get to take one of your opponent's battle cards, which is something they don't really expect you doing. You know, you can take their Kaba or their intensifying power chunks and use it to awaken yourself, or maybe you want to use one of their battle cards to just attack them with, or you just take a threat away, you know. Either way, it's a flexible card. It can come and go. We also play 3 double shot Super Saiyan 2 Vegetas. So since because our first couple of turns are going to be more defensive, then you know, you charge, you have the open energy. If they attack, you can play this down, and you'll have an attacker for the next turn. We also play 2 Furthering Destruction Champa. You know, this is basically a staple in any red deck, or just almost every deck nowadays, just because giving something double strike for that surprise attack to clean out the game at the end is always super strong. Of course, we play 3 Fearless Pan just because we can cheat it out with Chain Attack, and with all of our 1-drops, and of course being a red deck, all of our cards will get the bonus 5k double strike. Now, we also play 3 Foreseeing Hit, and Hit is such a strong card, especially if say you chain attack Zeno them, right? You reset their hand, suddenly they've got 5 cards, You attack them or pass, whatever, it doesn't matter, going into their turn, right? They're not gonna have too much going on unless they drew the nuts off of Zeno. But if that's the case, then that's just bad luck for you anyway. But going back into your turn, you know, your opponent's gonna have 5, 6, 7 cards, right? You play Foreseeing Hit down, suddenly you rip those cards out of their hand, they're down to like 3 to 5, and suddenly, you know, you can just steal the game right away. We also play 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. Now, basically for the same reasons as Double Shot Vegeta, right? We are gonna have our energy open super early in the game so we can defend ourselves, and of course it draws you a card to help you find your chain attack, your Zeno. And we also play 2 Pride and Justice Topo, just because, you know, he's with so much early awakening, you'll be able to play him for 2 pretty early. He doesn't come into play too much, but he's nice to have, especially for that extra negate. Now, onto the extra cards, we play 3 Unending Awakening. Now, the funny thing about this card is that if your leader is a Red Saiyan, you get plus 5,000 for the duration of the turn, and it just so happens that Rampaging Great Ape Baby is a Saiyan. So that's really cool. You know, you get a nice little Senzu Bean buff after you've awakened to help defend yourself a little bit more. We also play 2 Planet M2. Anytime I see this card in my opening hand, I'm going to want to keep it, right? Because the moment you play this down, it's going to sit on the field for the rest of the game. Zeno doesn't take it off the board. There's nothing that takes field cards off the board, right? So the moment you play this down, you're going to get so much value. It's essentially, you know, making your opponent burn an extra card anytime they want to defend your attack. Moving on, we have 2 Vow Revenge. This is just kind of like our spot removal. You know, you subtract something by 15k for the duration of the turn. A nice interaction, you know, you can subtract something for 15k, attack, and then subtract another 5k for Planet M2, so you can remove anything with 20. Or if your leader's awakened, you can attack minus a 10k, and then Vow Revenge minus another 15k, right? Or even you could subtract something 15k and then take it with the baby subdual. It's a cute little play. It's not always going to happen, but it's there. It adds a little bit more utility to the deck. Now finally we have our black cards. We play 1 Scientist Fu, just for that draw and a late game push. And of course we play 2 Burst Energy Super Saiyan Bardock. Now the reason we play him is because he enables us to attack active mode, and he becomes 30k when you overwhelm him. It's important to have something to attack active mode because barrier is, you know, barrier is a thing, and a lot of the more popular cards do have barrier. Now, because a lot of our cards say choose when they do the subtraction or the power subtraction, which is why we want the Bardock, right? Because we can't subtract power from cards with barrier. So this is our answer to that. Yeah, I believe that is everything. So I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this deck. You know, it definitely demands a different play style. You know, you don't want to awaken like every other deck does. You know, you already draw a card on your front side, so you can afford to not awaken. You'll be generating cards, and you'll be able to keep up with your opponent. You have to make very efficient plays, right? And be careful with your death balls, right? You anticipate when your opponent's gonna swing or try to kill you or attack you, and sometimes you can even bait them out, you know, like maybe you're sitting at 3 life, you know they have a double striking in their hand, So when they swing with their leader, maybe you just want to take the hit. Okay, sure, I'll go down to 2. And suddenly they drop their double strike battle card with, hopefully it doesn't have barrier. Otherwise this won't work. But, they drop their double strike battle card, attack you, go all in, and then you just revenge Death Ball. And suddenly your opponent has no cards in hand, you just get an easy win, right? But of course that's only going to work for the more unexperienced player. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this very underwhelming episode. Please, if you enjoy the content, like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and have a wonderful night.